Viewers, welcome. This is Context Channel, Simon again. We're trying to put into context the recent signing of Kenya EU trade deal that was signed on 19th of this month. That was on Monday. I've been reading that deal, researching on it, and I have things that I would like us to share. I want to put 2 points across concerning the deal. The first one is that the deal aims to solidify Kenya as an agrarian economy. It's for locking Kenya to prevent it from developing, to get it stuck further in agrarian status and prevent it from developing industries. And second one, the deal is meant solely to compete with China and does not look into the interest of this country, and that's why its implementation should be measured to ensure that we don't tie all our hands trying to chase the EU, which for decades has rejected Kenyans, and not see other partners that have been putting all their efforts to form partnership with Kenyans.
Kenya on Monday signed an economic partnership agreement with the European Union. The deal, which needs to be ratified by the parliaments of both sides, will guarantee duty-free access for Kenya's farm produce into its biggest export market. Africa's seventh largest economy is a major exporter of tea, coffee, flowers, fruits and vegetables. The EU accounts for 21% of its overall exports.
The first item or aspect that you notice after you read into the deal, it provides many avenues through which Kenyans can expand export of products, traditional exports that we've had for EU market. These are tea, coffee, avocados and cut flowers, generally agricultural products. And then the deal seems or purports to show like it can be expanded for us to have even more access to that market. And I wonder, do you usually have coffee that goes unsold? Not really. We sell all our coffee. The same with tea and also with avocados. I mean, there's no way we can expand market export to the EU for these products without first expanding production. So that means the deal largely will lead to attainment of status quo. Nothing is likely to be gotten out of it. Importantly, as you listen, you will notice that President Ruto said that the deal is supposed to help Kenya advance its manufacturing. That's a joke. It won't help Kenya in advancing manufacturing, because if you look at it, it does not specify or promote building of industries. Instead, it just promotes export of what we produce in its raw form. So in other words, we are not likely to see value addition of those products before being exported to the EU. So that means if you want to add any value, that means the incomes that our Kenyan farmers and producers get will not expand. I want you to note some very interesting pitfall going with this deal is that the EU has been investing in Africa and in Kenya particularly to enhance export to the EU. That means it has been sending its industries to invest their capital in Kenya to increase production of those agro products and then have them exported. That means it's their industries that will produce these farm products. For instance, flowers. You have EU industries producing flowers in Kenya and then exporting them. So in other words, it's EU benefiting on both sides, and our Kenyan farmers will not benefit. There are very few Kenyan farmers that do successfully well in the flower industry. That means if there are very few and there is no capacity for expanding, then the deal does not bring anything new to us apart from what we already have. And another thing is that you will notice that even if we export flowers and those things to the EU and import food, which is usually more expensive than them, so ultimately we end up being net importer of more expensive things. So it doesn't help everybody. Importantly, in the fine print of this deal, the EU media houses, Reuters and the Baron, among others, said that the deal is a coup. So it's a coup against China. It's a way of dislodging China. And it's very interesting. Just imagine, like they can come all the way, discuss that much, only to dislodge China. Which interest? How is it in our interest to dislodge China from our market? Because, as I know, the best market is the most competitive one. Such that if they had the best interest at heart for us Kenyans, they should foster fairer competition between themselves and China, and so that they give us a choice. But here, as you can see, they are insisting that it is a coup. So according to them, they say it's a coup, and insist that the EU has invested 1.1 billion in building the farms and the industries that I told you, so that to facilitate increased export. On the other hand, they say now they want to replace China, which over the same period has invested over $10 billion building infrastructure. Notice the difference. If somebody comes from the EU and builds a farm, it's their own farm, it's their private property. It won't help you. If they export those products, it might not help you that much as a Kenyan. But on the other hand, we have the Chinese bringing all that money that ends up building roads. You know, road is not a private property. If a Chinese build a road in Kenya, he won't use it. You will use it. It's us who use it. It makes our economy more efficient, such that you conduct your business more efficiently. To them, the EU offer is like a man approaching a lady and telling her, you know, I don't like you really. I don't want us to be happy together. I'm only dating you, or I just want us to form a relationship, so that you don't fall in love with that man I know who is offering a better option. So we need to be very careful about these things that are being brought, that are being very championed here. It's a joke. We cannot allow ourselves to be used to counter this country or other country. To us, we should be neutral parties to trade with all people that come in our way. And in future, if Kenya wants to negotiate a deal with EU, we want to tell the EU to lift sanctions against Iran. We want an opportunity to be selling our tea to Iranians because they've never done us anything wrong. So that our market, we can diversify, we can sell our tea to multiple parties, to the EU, to Egypt, to Iran, to Russia, to China, and other countries, so that if they compete among themselves, we can have an opportunity to get the best deal from the market instead of only having them. I want to take you back to 2014 and 2017. EU attempted to sign another deal between EU and EAC, that is East African Community. And the EU, in a very crafty way, thought that deal would go through. It was a similar deal promoting the export of raw materials from East Africa, and roped in Kenya to rapidly ratify that deal. But the rest of our partners in the East African community refused it because it was not bringing in anything good. So this might face the same fate. People are not stupid. I don't think they can continue lying without consequences. Even if our Kenyan government rush to ratify it, there's a good chance the rest of Africa may reject it. A very renowned professor, PLO, noted that this move of the EU to sign trade agreements and deals with Kenya may be meant to dislodge China and to dislodge even the intra-African trade, Africa trade, free area trade. So they might be they might be telling us to start trading with the EU and make it a condition for us to stop trading with our African brothers so that we trade with them. And again, this is something that we need to keep our eyes on. It must not be allowed to stand. Trading with the EU must be one way through which we trade. We must continue trading with the EU, but also with our African brothers. Note that over 50% of our trade is with our brother neighbor Ugandans, and another good percentage is with the Tanzanians, and others with our good neighbors and the rest of Africa. So we need to cultivate trade with Africa, and then with other regions, and then the EU. So viewers, thank you for your time. I appreciate your time and your support this far. And if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. Turn on the notification so that anytime I post a video, you'll be notified. And also watch it. Thank you. And if you have any views that you could add, any proposals or a voice in the debate, please add, and it will be appreciated. Thank you, and thank you for your time.